Hi everybody, this is Susie from Susie Crafted Designs. Hope everybody is doing well today. I am so excited for this collaboration hop with some seriously great talented ladies out there. This is the Handmade Flowers Across the World video, and I am so excited to be a part of it, to create something inspiring for the crafting community to see. So with that said, in the drop down box below, you'll see other designers who have taken part in this beautiful collaboration that thank you so much. I wanted to say to Shabby Craft Corner, Nicola, thank you for including me and asking me if I wanted to be part of this wonderful idea. I think it's so great. So there's going to be a hop over here, and I'm supposed to be doing like a 30-minute video. So let's not waste any time and get to doing this. So this is Handmade Flowers Across the World. And for you today, I am Susie Crafter from Brooklyn, New York. Most of you know me as Susie Crafted Designs, a vintage design studio, and now a flower studio on Instagram. Anyway, I wanted to show you what I'm making today. So this is a flower I made a really long time ago, and I was trying to make something special for this collaboration. So I made a video prior to this, but then thought that that was too dragged out and decided to see if I can do this one. This one is on a stem, but I'm not doing that. I'm doing just the bud. So let's get started. I tried to cut to the chase and go ahead and make a little bit of things before we get started with this. This is called the singeing method. Years ago, when there were a lot of crafters starting this, they called the singeing method melting fabric to have it wrinkle and crinkle on the edges, and we would use those pieces of fabric as petals to make flowers. And this at the time was called a lollipop flower, which we're still making them. I am. I actually wear these on my shoes in the summer and wear them on a lapel as a pin. And that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be singeing these pieces of fabric. So you're going to need, what I have here is a piece of fabric in this rose blush color, really very pretty. And you're going to need about 20 to 25 pieces of fabric. As you can see, I put absolutely no thought into cutting this whatsoever in a perfect circle and oblong. I folded the fabric and just cut out pieces like this. I have already set aside several pieces of singed fabric so that we can move on with the flower making and not bore you like the other video that I did, which I felt would have been boring you watching me sew for 30 minutes. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this piece of fabric, you're going to get a candle. What I'm using here is one of those little throwaway candles, but I've had this rose for many years. So every time I need to do singeing, I just put a new thingy in there and on we go. So very simple. Take the fabric. If you're new at this and you want to try it, have a little bowl of water next to you just in case you don't want to set your house on fire. Neither do I. I had a little thingy happen to me before too. My fabric caught on fire and that's what happened. So anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to take this, hold it between your hands. If you have a small pair of tweezers and you're not comfortable, you could certainly hold the fabric with the tweezers. I'm going to hold them with my finger, thumb, and the forefingers just like this, very simple. If you're using a round circle, it's shorter. Be careful. I'm using an oblong, like a long square piece of fabric. And the fabric must be some type of a silk fabric. I don't know if any of the other ladies have used like polyester or taffeta or any other type of fabric. I know chiffon will burn, but if you're very careful, even like the netting will burn, but you might be able to singe it. I don't remember if I've ever tried that or not, but going forward I could try something and let you know. So you're going to take this, and this is silk fabric, and you're just going to bring this above your candle and just move it very gently around the candle. Sometimes you can wind up with something that looks like that, which is all bubbles, and this you can save to use for something on the inside or a covering, but other than that you cannot use this as a petal. It will not look pretty. So you're going to take this and you see those pieces that are hanging off. Just be a little careful with that. That's going to just melt. And what's happening here is you're melting your fabric. You're just going to move it gently and around. And if you can see, I'm not looking at the camera now, I'm looking at the fabric, that the edges are starting to melt a little bit and they just ruffle up ever so slightly. You'll see it move a little. Try not to get too close. I'm heating up the fabric here. I try not to, like, you know, get too close to burn it and not to burn myself either. And sometimes the fabric turns, so while it's hot you can play with it a little. And I do like it when it kind of folds in like that a little bit, just, and the edges will change color ever so slightly, get a little bit darker, very, very slight. Don't get too close if you're using white or cream. You will have burn marks or black marks and it'll be kind of smelly. And you don't want your flowers to have any kind of aroma whatsoever. I know I don't. So I'm just doing this over here. I just wanted to ruffle that piece up a little bit. You see how nice that came out? I'll do 2 more with you just in case you didn't get a chance to see or you stepped away from the video for a second. And so just going through this just ever so slightly, kind of slowly spinning your piece of fabric around. I can tell you that the red looks really, really pretty. If you've ever tried red or you want to do the red is really pretty. The edge is great for like some type of a vintage, like old world type of look. The edges turn close to black. It's a really nice, not necessarily shabby chic, but you know, more like, I don't know, like hats, umbrellas, kind of black, I don't know, but the red is really super pretty. So, okay, and so here we did this piece, and then one more piece to do with you, and then I will show you the next steps. The fun part comes once all of this is done. It's kind of tedious just going one after the next. And again, if you're making a small flower, you won't really need that many. I'm making a substantial size flower, so just to be on the safe side, I have about 20 to 25 pieces. I didn't even count. I was just cutting, to be perfectly honest with you. A lot of times I just go at it, and I never really record tutorials because I don't think I'm very good at it. Some of the ladies are very good at doing like step by step. I don't know why there's no one here. I feel like everyone's watching me. So, and we are just about done. I don't want it to bubble up and have too many of them. So we're good. Let me just blow this out. Okay. Now we put that to the side. Get my name thingy out of the way. And I'm going to show you, okay? So what I've done was I had already done this prior to our meeting here. These are the ones that I had done already. And I wanted to have that done so that I can make the flower and spend more time actually making it with you than sitting here and letting you watch me burn fabric. So, and the other video that I made for this collaboration, I was sitting there sewing for like 25 minutes. And that was not going to happen. So again, for those of you that are popping in late, this is the one that I am looking to make, that I made a long time ago. I did not give it to anyone. I didn't make it for anybody. This was for my craft room as part of props. What I use with things that I make to take pictures. So the other thing that you're going to need, folks, is a glue gun, which now I forgot to turn mine on. So that'll just be a minute or so to get that warmed up. I have that on the side. I'm using my Shore Bonder with a really pointy tip. You're going to need a scissor, of course, to cut it out. Something to light up the candle. Just a basic scissor. You're going to need some needle and thread, which I have the big spools here. And the next steps will go. So now you're probably saying, what is she doing with that? So I make paper flowers for a really long time, and there's a lot of times certain flowers that I make um, uh, need a center that's on the inside to hold everything. And so I just thought that I would go ahead and try this, because I think I did that with the other flower that I did put um, a little ball on the inside. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm hoping that this is what I did at the time. I made one like that one, and I'm just hoping that this is actually what I had done years ago when I made this flower. I wanted to make something special for this collaboration for the Handmade Flowers Across the World. And I thought that this was really pretty, and something that after you make it, you could either give it away or do it part of a swap or use it in a crafty project. So remember I showed you that I had this one piece that I kind of, really murdered it with the, the burning and everything. So I'm just going to save that. I'm going to take this piece, and if you don't have one that you screwed up, I'm sorry to say that, then you could certainly just cut a piece out and wrap it around the foil. Okay, and then I'm going to get my needle and thread. The thread is doubled, making sure I cover everything here. And I'm going to tie a knot, and we're going to start. I do have my glue gun on in case I get lazy, and I get lazy. I don't know, some of you ladies are very talented and have lots of patience with the crafting. Sometimes I can't do the sewing anymore, or I just feel like I don't have enough time, and that's it. So here we go. So I'm going to think at the time that I either glued this or I sewed it. So I'm going to wing it today, and I'm going to sew it, folks. Okay? There's a lot of times I do sew the flowers that I make, and some of them I glue down. So that's what we're going to try that with this today. So again, I apologize. I am not the tutorial type, but I am trying my hardest to do it right. So I'm going on all four corners here, because I just want to like get it wrapped around the whole thing. I could have glued it if I wanted to, but I didn't, because my glue gun was not on. So I am not going through the foil, in case you're asking. Okay, and there we have the flower. Thanks for watching. I'm just kidding. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to wing it, folks. I'm winging this now with what I remember from making this flower. So I have some pieces that are a little bit bigger than the other. So I'm going to go with the smaller ones. Yeah. Let's see, Sue. Take this out. Okay, I'm talking to myself. So now the key thing is, really, I was playing with this before I started. I know what I'm doing. Okay, the only thing is I didn't plan on sewing it, but I'm going to sew it for you guys. So what you want to do here is you want to make this actually look like it's a rose, okay? For those of you who like the stamens in the center, you could probably replace this with just holding stamens and smoosh them in the middle, glue them in a piece, and then work around it. You can do that too. I kind of like this though, because the bottom half, you'll see when we're done, will be firm enough for you to put down on a piece of fabric or your job that you're working on, and it'll be nice and firm and stiff to hold. But if you just put the stamen inside, I don't know how it's going to be. So all right, so I'm going to sew this, and I am far away, I think, from my camera, as far away as possible. Okay, and so forgive me if I get a little quiet or my thread lumps up. Okay, that's another thing. Make sure your piece of thread is pretty long. And I'm gonna work this work. Alright. I'm not used to talking and working at the same time, so forgive me if I kind of don't sound like anything like the rest of you guys that get on and everything's honky-dory. Alright, so I'm going to just sew in a piece. Just go in anywhere. Go with it. Have fun doing it. And know that in the end it's going to look good. Okay, so now if you look at this, I'm kind of forming something here. It's almost like a tulip looking kind of flower. Okay, I'm kind of squeezing underneath also the foil, just so that I have something to sew on here. I'm not sewing the foil. See, I'm just sewing on the back side, like right on the bottom part. We're sewing that. Okay. And if your thread's not long enough, don't be afraid. Just tie off wherever you are and get a piece of fabric and start again. You can certainly like go in there, and which I'm going to try to do right now. So let me just move this over. I don't want to hurt anything. Just going to take my glue gun. I'm on my dining room table, by the way. So I was going to do it on my kitchen island, but the that's nice. I need a piece of glue. Okay. So here we go. I'm going to get a piece of glue in there. Alright. Why isn't this like happening? Is it not hot enough? Oh, here we go. Sorry, I didn't show you what I did. I just put a little tiny glue in there. I want something to hold it down. And I bet you if I use the glue all the way around, I will finish this a lot faster than sewing it. So let's see what happens. My cord is not long enough. Can you see that? Okay. And so I'm just putting that down and holding that. So that is already starting to form something. Just to show you the other flower. See that? It's the same idea. And the ball is there, the piece of foil, so you don't really see anything. And if you want to throw a few crystals in there or some kind of pearls with a little wet glue later on, if you can do it, why not? Okay, I'm going to just make this flower now here. Okay. So I'm putting one on, and I'm putting 2 stitches, one on each side. Okay. That'll hold it. Okay. I'm hoping that I'm in picture enough for you to see me. I'm just going with it, folks. I'm putting more than one petal on at a time. Actually, I've got 3 down. And I think I'm just going to stitch it straight across. I don't even remember what I did the last time, to be honest. You ever do that? Like make something and you're like, how did I do it that time? I mean, I've been doing this for years and I'm on YouTube for like a really long time. But sometimes I make things and it's like, oh, I should have recorded that. I don't record everything. Not lately. I need to start doing that again. So the bottom underneath here doesn't look very pretty. Who cares, right? Okay. Now I'm just going to grab my glue gun and I'm just going to put some glue on that. Let me see if I can kind of move you over just a little bit. Yeah. Because my cord is not long enough. And I'm just like tacking little tacking pieces. I really don't like using hot glue on this type of fabric or any really pretty laces, especially like the vintage ones or old pieces of lace, but sometimes you just need to. See how pretty that's coming out? Okay. So we continue now, and I'm just going to keep doing what I just did. Now, you might have to push your flower up higher instead of all the way down. You might have to do it up a little bit higher to cover around the other petals and just like do a stitch. And my thread is getting short, so I may have to stop that soon and get another longer piece. I'm still using the ones that are just a teensy weensy bit shorter than the other one, but it's all good. And because it's so singed, the melted the fabric, it's such a nice look. This is gorgeous, and this will be so beautiful on any project, I promise. You just have to make sure that when you go into the fabric store or buy from whoever you buy from on the internet or on Facebook, that it is silk fabric. Some people call it China silk, or lining, like fabric lining that you would line a suit with. You would really need to make sure that you get the right. Believe me, in the past, I mean, someone had told me, oh, it's satin fabric. And I was like, thanks a lot. I went to the store. I was getting out of control with the colors and buying. I come home. I'm like, what am I going to do with all this stuff now? It doesn't work. So that wasn't a very trusting source. But I'm telling you exactly what I use. And I do get it at my fabric store. They know me in there. Because the roses that I really do make an awful lot of are the bud roses and those twisted roses. Yeah, I make a lot of those. And if I'm doing a bouquet, those are what I use. And sometimes something similar to what I have here. Really, they're really, really pretty. Look at that. Okay. So now you can see a lot of these are starting to fall back a little bit. We're going to fix that now. Here we go. Hold on one sec. Let me just make sure. So here's a smaller one. I try to make sure if I do have a little bit of smaller ones, that those stay in the center, and the larger oblong ones, I keep those for as I'm getting bigger. And if you kind of do have one that's a little off, like this one's too small, it should have gone in the middle, just raise it upward and stitch it in. No one's going to see it, the bottom. So now I have another piece of thread. I'm going to thread it through, just one stitch. And I'm using one stitch, folks, but and this is like this is just like what I'm doing here on the YouTube. But going forward, you could certainly make it a few more stitches to make it, you know, much more secure for yourself, or if you're giving it to somebody. And of course, you know, if you were putting a stem inside of it, you would probably start going in right about now to have a stem. I don't have any green silk fabric to go around a stem, and that's why I'm just making the bud today. Again, another piece. And I hope you can see this. Sew it in. I do like to sew. I don't make clothing. Um, I do make a lot of other things, but I don't make clothing. The wearable art that I make is anywhere from bridal top hats to chokers that would be like flowers on them, or brooches, something that you can attach to a bag. I also sew like the tote bags. I was making a lot of those at one time. Sometimes you just get into it for a while and you love it, and then after a while you drop that and you go to something else. Okay, so see, it's starting to form. And you can also have it very loose, but in the end, when we're finished making this, I'm going to make a lot of stitches throughout the entire flower to get it secure like that, okay? So, okay, we have a lot of buds here, a lot of pieces still to go on. So I'm going to show you the whole thing that I'm doing. I'm recording 26 minutes already, so I have some time. I hope nobody's sick of hearing my voice. Okay. So how's everybody doing out there? My life has been absolutely crazy. So many things have happened over time. Life gets in the way, guys, and sometimes it gets in the way of the things that you love the most. And for me, oh my goodness, the Marie Antoinettes and the flowers is my favorite. So yeah, I wasn't able to craft for a while. Crafting part, like hobby side, but the making flowers part, that's a given all the time. So I'm still like sewing in these pieces of flowers, and if I had the green silk, I would have been at the end sewing on the leaves, which is, excuse me, a different way to cut those and put them on. Also very pretty. A little time consuming, but I get a little meticulous in the craft. So see, I'm kind of smooshing it down there. And if you're daring to put that back on the flame to get that piece a little shorter, you can. If not, you can probably push it in. I know, I should have maybe changed it, but whatever, it's fine. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The flower is beautiful, and the color is so pretty. And I'm just trying to make this look so nice because I love you guys. And yeah. So how do you like this this YouTube hop collaboration? With the ladies here that we're all, you know, chipping in and having this YouTube hop from one place to the next. I hope you go in the drop down box below when you finish watching my video and try out some of the flowers that other people are making. Maybe, make one like I'm making and tag me or send me a message. I'd love to see what you came out with and how yours looked. Not many people really sew the flowers. I like to sew my flowers, especially if it's for somebody else. But if I'm doing it as a prop for my own videos and pictures and things like that, and I want to go fast, then I don't sew anything. So we're still going through this. Still, and you can see this is starting to form as quite a large ball of fabric. There it is so far. Very beautiful. I do have, I'll show you what I have left, you guys. You're probably like, oh my God. She's going to be sewing for a longer time. I hope YouTube lets me bring up such a long video. So I will try to shorten this by not attaching all of these flowers, just so that I hope that I'm able to get the video uploaded. And then just show like still life pictures on my Facebook, Susie Crafter Designs. You might see it as Susan Crafter, because they made me change it like 10 years ago. I don't know why, but they said that wasn't my name. So, but this is really beautiful, folks. I'm going to, I didn't want to go past, I'm going to be hitting 31 minutes. I know the video is supposed to be 30 minutes. Oops. See, I'm rushing, so I don't want to do that. And so, like I said before, when the end part rolls around, see, I'm rushing. I don't want to rush. Okay, so this is like a really beautiful rose peony almost kind of look. And the reason why that's kind of falling out is because it's not sewn in all the way. But I'll just take this just the way it is. Okay, hold it really good on the other side. Now you're at the bottom part, and I will just, why is that like that? Okay, make sure that your last one is on, and you're just gonna like grab it right there and just put through. I'm not gonna put on all the rest of the petals now, because I don't think that I'm going to make it with the timing. And you can knot off the back like I just did. It's not sewn in all the way at all. I had to use at least a good 20 or 25 petals. But if you want, you can put it on one of those pieces of felt. And I'm seeing it from my view, but I'd like to show you. Isn't that so beautiful? I mean, granted, this is large for a crafty project, but some of you ladies do really incredible journals and these wall hangings and wreaths, and just really get extremely creative. So I hope I've inspired you to try and make one of these for your projects, for a bouquet, for a corsage for graduation, a Father's Day party coming up. Father wouldn't be wearing this one, but mom would, daughter would, or any other kind of party that's coming up, birthday, anniversary, or just making a flower for yourself. And certainly you can have this sitting in your craft room, you know, and something like I have right here. This is a strand of pearls, and I have it sitting there. Look how beautiful that is. Just gorgeous. Susie Crafter Designs saying so long and see you again. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make one and let me know how you liked it in the drop down box below. Also find all of the other participants in the wonderful handmade flowers across the world. Nicola, thank you so much for asking me to be part of this beautiful collaboration. I hope you're inspired. I hope you love the flower, and I'll be seeing you again. Don't forget to like and hit subscribe and share. Have a wonderful weekend, a beautiful day, you guys. Love you all. Hugs and kisses. Bye.